Hey guys, Love Them Knives here. Today, talking about that Emerson Kwaiken knife. It's very tactical. Thanks for joining me on Love Them Knives. LTK here. The Tactical Kwaiken from Emerson, made in the USA, almost a 4-inch blade, and made in the USA by Emerson Kwaiken. There's patent number, all that kind of stuff. You've got the wave opener, so it comes out of the back of your pants when you withdraw the knife in this tip up right hand configuration. So as it's coming out, and this is the back of your pocket, as you well know, when it comes out, it hooks up, it grabs the lip of that pocket, and as it does, it flicks open as you withdraw it out of your pocket. I guess I need to have a pair of jeans or something here like Zelric does on his channel. That would come in handy. But in any case, you can imagine how this does that. And it's got this thumb disc, which is nice because you can just finger flick this baby open. It's got steel washers, no bearings. It's got steel liners that are not skeletonized. It's got black G10, very grippy scales on it. And this is not the Kershaw Emerson. This is not the ZT Emerson. This is the Emerson. Yes, it is. So it's like $215. You can buy it from White Mountain Knives, and they've got different Emerson knives for sale on there. And with the LTK discount code, you can get 10% off. So instead of $215, $21.50 off, you got it under $200 in the 190. So you're in good shape there. Let me see if I got a little piece. Here we go. Bajingo. Let's get it under the camera. Here you go. The Emerson. Buy now with one click. 154 cm blade. $215.96. Here's your stats. 9 inches overall. Basically a 4-inch blade. Okay, so that would leave handle length at about 5 inches. You got a 57 to 59 RC, 5 ounces. Like I said, 154 cm, stonewash finish. Liner lock, a V grind with chisel edge. Okay, and then there's other Emersons that you can buy off of his site. And here's a picture of it, disassembled, late at night, bored with what's on TV, enough Trump bashing, sick and tired of that, time to take a knife apart. Late night comics, just gotta, that's the only joke they got is Trump jokes. So, I mean, maybe he brings it on himself, but good Lord Almighty, please leave me alone. And so we've got the detent ball here built into the lock bar. And we've got not bronze washers, but steel washers. Remind you that this is made in the USA, even though we're not skeletonizing these liners, and they aren't all that nicely finished. Don't understand this cutaway here exactly. It's a D-shaped pivot, so I understand the D shape on this side, but I don't understand this, like the saw went just a little too far or something. I don't know what that was all about. In any case, so there you go. And what's interesting about this knife is that on the pivot, it's a screwdriver. Now, I took it apart, right? So, did the screwdriver slip? Yes, it did. And there's a little, I can't get that right light. You can kind of see it when I flash it a little bit. You can see the little zip up here. Yeah, so I got the screwdriver. One thing I don't like about screwdriver pivots is because a screwdriver will slip. But if you have a Torx that fits inside, it doesn't slip because it stays engaged. Where a screwdriver blade, as it turns, sometimes it can, it can slide out of there and skate across your G10. Thank God that's not titanium. If you had a titanium knife with a screwdriver pivot, it's like you better put some tape around there if you're going to disassemble it. So, and these are not Torxes either, right? These are Phillips screws. So, you're likely, as an American, to have these tools handy, okay? But this is not for me. I do not like the screwdriver thing. Now, for field, because you can take it apart in the field, which actually I did realize that this was a little loose. I had a little blade play on this, and so I didn't have a screwdriver in here either. I got a Torx, but I just took this. And so you can take something else out in the field and use it kind of as a screwdriver, so you can tighten this pivot or take it apart or whatever. So, you might have these, especially if you have like a multi-tool that you have with you in the field. So maybe for field reasons, it has this kind of hardware on it. It's definitely not a pretty boy knife. This is a real user, a real industrial feel looking bad boy type user knife. And you know what? I don't mind big knives. I don't mind them at all. Hey, almost a 4-inch blade, not quite, somewhere like 3 7/8 up to back of the choil 4. So about 97 to 100 millimeters, somewhere in there. 9 inches overall, almost 23 centimeters. That's some stuff. Let me see if we can get this woke up, our little deal here, and kind of figure the blade steel. 3.15 millimeters, 3.12, which is 0.8 inch, and overall fatty. Nope, so it must be over a ½ inch. It is 0.54 at about 14 millimeter. So fills the hand nicely. The ergos are fine on this. Look at the cutaway you have here. Great cutaway. Be able to get your thumb in there. You got jimping on that liner lock. You can disengage. It has lock stick. It had it really, really bad when I got it. Really bad. And I fought it. I took it apart about 3 different times to try, and I put a little bit of a diamond stone on there on the end of this face of this lock bar to try and smooth it a little bit. And that helped a lot, because the lock stick is nothing like it. At one time, I flicked it so hard open like that it took me both fingers to mash that thing down to unstick it. That was pretty bad. Almost about ready to get a screwdriver and pry that thing down to pop it off there. You can still hear it click. So you do that really hard. There you go. So still got lock stick on it. Yes, you can get some of that anti-oxidizing or anti-oxidizing solution and put it on the end of there and see if that'll fill in the micro pores or whatever and keep that lock stick from happening. What I did is, of course, I put black magic marker on the back, and you can see where it's engaging right there, that little spot right there. That little spot right there, that's where it's engaging. I thought it was engaging in here somewhere in a nice big flat spot, but it's engaging in this little facing right here. So if you see how it engages that, it's kind of the inside corner of this lock bar is engaging with just kind of a corner of that. So it's not really a face-to-face meetup. It's more like the edge of this to the edge of this. So not as secure as I would think I'd want. So, I didn't intentionally take off. I had never had an Emerson knife, and I always thought they were so cool. I wanted the Super Commander or whatever, So, yeah, because I wanted to get that big Hossaba knife. I just thought that was so badass. But when this Kwaiken came out, I just thought this was, incredible. But I'm a little disappointed. It's made in the USA. It costs $215. It's screws, which I don't like. The liners are not necessarily that well finished, and they're not skeletonized, and I don't get that. The pocket clip, okay, but it's far from a deep carry, and they could have done that. Which, for a tactical knife, I think you'd want to do that. And no left-hand option, even though there's no point in not drilling holes on this side. Believe me, this is not a pretty knife. This is not something you want to spare for looks, necessarily. In any case, so... Thumb ramp with jimping, cool. I like that part. You've got at least a little notch here, choil area for sharpening, so that's great. Is it sharp? It was last time I checked. Like butter. So it's sharp. It's great. It's just, I don't know. I expected something more. It feels a little, I cleaned it, put it back together, but it's still, it's got this sound. Hold on. Let me get it. See what I'm saying? I mean, that'll smooth out over a while, but $215? And it's not CPM 154, it's 154 CM. I don't know. I thought I'd feel it more. Now, self-defense knife, something you can draw out of your pocket and it's already open, yeah. But then they have those open draw type draw it and it'll open type of things on some of the cold steel knives. And I'll tell you what, I feel more love from them, even though most of those are made in Taiwan. But they really feel like more quality than this. And of course, the lockup on the cold steel, a lot more reliable than what I'm feeling here. I'm just not feeling that. As, I'm sure you can, I've got my hand in the way. I mean, you can do this, but I wouldn't push it. And these knives are more for, it's a folding knife, so it's not a fixed blade. So yes, locks can fail, things can happen. Never depend on the lock. Just use the knife correctly, and the lock should not, because you got friction folders, you got, slip joints and stuff that are not even locking blades that people use all the time and don't cut themselves. Just use it properly. In any case, still, no zipper pouch, no extra whatever. It's just, I don't know, just, seems like a lot of money for not a lot of much of anything. That's it. You get that, and you get the box. So, for you Emerson fans, okay. I do get, these are very grippy. Tough guy stuff, field usable here with this kind of hardware. 154 CM, probably as much blade steel as you'll ever appreciate in your life. You get 99% of guys. But it's not about the blade steel. It's about how much am I paying and what are my alternatives for blade steel at this price, and comparing it in the market. And then you start, figuring that, wow, maybe these guys are a little behind the times. At least CPM 154, S35 would be nice. Just that. I don't know. In any case, big knife, tough guy, very sharp, made in the USA. I don't know that I'm overly proud because it's made in the USA when it's still, in my estimation, coming up a little lacking. I just felt like bronze washer, something more smooth. And when I back this off, you can tighten this so tight that you can't open the knife. Okay, you cannot open this knife. So you loosen it a little, and you want to give it some abilities here. But you can end up, and this doesn't have any play, so I did strike the balance where there's no play, but I did back it off, and to where I thought it was a little bit more compliant, and yes, it had some blade play. So I tightened it back up a little, and we're there, but we got that lock stick, and I'm still not digging the way that lockup happened. So, all right, what can I say? Flanagan, yeah. No, not Grail status for me. Never had an Emerson in my hand. Wanted to get one. Put it on the channel. I need to give them another shot at maybe another model and see how that goes, because this is a one-trick pony here. But, I mean, I love the design. I like the fact that it's long and it's big, and I love, you know, the Kwaiken thing. I love the Emerson opening system. All those kinds of... There's a lot to like about this knife, but there's some stuff that's not all that Rico Suave with me, that's for sure. So, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining me. You can disagree with me in the comment section, disagree with each other, big fights, yelling and screaming, whatever, as it goes. You know what we do around here. Bottom line, we love them knives. So guys, stay sharp.